The hype is well underway for the rematch next Sunday between Buddy Ryan's Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas coach Jimmy Johnson, enraged by the bounty hunting accusations thrown around after the Thanksgiving game between the two clubs, seems to have calmed down a bit. Yesterday, he even gave the Eagles some advice if they happen to want to go after kicker Luis Zendejas again.
I don't think Zendejas has a tackle for us yet, does he? Normally, he doesn't cross the 50-yard line. He kicks the ball and runs to the sideline. So if they're going to get him this week, they better get him in a hurry.
I wonder how Luis feels about that. I'm Rock, and that's sports this morning. Faith?
How to get your kicker.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Rock. Still ahead on the CBS Morning News. A French train.
Break with that already.
Yeah, all right.
Gee, we got a great segment coming up here. Welcome back to Dallas, where people just love their Cowboys. And why not? With an 8-2 record this year, they're the best in the NFC and looking Super Bowl bound again. We won't even talk about those San Francisco guys from last weekend, but titles are no stranger to the Cowboys, and neither are superstars. Remember Tony Dorsett, the Cowboys' all-time leading rusher and a Hall of Famer, and Drew Pearson, Mr. Clutch, who played in 3 Super Bowls and 3 Pro Bowls, and another Hall of Famer, Randy White, who played 14 seasons with the Cowboys, beginning his career as a first-round draft pick. And how many consecutive Pro Bowls did you play in?
I think it was 9.
9, okay, something like that.
Wow.
Would you welcome these called Cowboy legends this morning? I want to do something. I want to roll some tape of you playing football, because it's the first time I've had a chance to look at this in a while. And there's a beauty, there is a grace, there is an ability there.
And
Man.
Speed, too. Look at that speed.
Wow.
Where's Drew?
We'll get him. Oh, there's the block. There's the block. Okay, all right.
Every long run that I've made in my career, Drew Pearson somehow had a part of it.
How much do you miss it, or do you?
I don't really miss it. You know, after playing, I got hurt in year 13, and I was going to play 1 or 2 more years. After a while, you become mentally and physically exhausted with the game, the pressure and everything that comes along with playing professional sports. I was about ready to move on at the time I got hurt.
Randy, you went to my college, University of Maryland. We loved watching you thump people every Saturday on the field. How tough was it making the transition from college to the pros?
Well, it's the same at every level. When you go from high school to college, you start off at the bottom. You have to prove yourself and work your way back up to the top. And going into the pros, you know, I came from 2 similar coaches, Jerry Claiborne and Tom Landry, and real disciplined guys. And first couple years were a little shaky, but I found myself at home at defensive tackle my 3rd year, and from then on it was pretty smooth sailing.
Pretty smooth sailing, except for guys on the other end of that. Right. Not smooth at all.
You could hear him up in the stand saying, "Here he comes again."
Well, I'll tell you what, I was fortunate to play, like I said, for a great team and with a lot of great players on my defensive line. Guys, you know, Ed Jones and Dutton and those Harvey Martins. So we had a pretty good group out there.
Drew, what was it like to be on America's team? You guys would take the field on Sunday, and it just seemed like always some kind of magic was going on out there.
And there was a magic. There was some mystique involved, and I think that's what led to us being called America's team. And you know, being on TV week in and week out, getting that type of exposure is what we benefit off of right now. You know, we're just not known in Dallas, we're just not known in Texas, but because of being known as America's team, we're known on a national basis, and we can benefit from that as former players.
Now, but being known as America's team, what were the other guys saying to you as they were tackling you on the field?
Well, that was their motivation to try to beat us. They hated that, and actually we as players didn't like it that much either, because it did provide motivation to our opponents. But now that we're away from that and all the action, we liked it because we are recognized on a national basis.
It is the 20th anniversary of a play that anybody who's paying even a little bit of attention to the National Football League remembers. We want to show the championship game against the Minnesota Vikings from 20 years ago.
Don't push, Harry. I know you're going to ask that question.
Answer it. Don't even make me ask.
No, I did not push. Did you? TV audience, no.
Now, we've got a little surprise for you guys, because in Washington, D.C., because he's not here in Dallas, because he would have been here otherwise, we've got the man who threw the ball in order to make the catch. Good morning to Roger Staubach. Morning, Roger. Roger, just to refresh people's memories, set that play up again for folks.
Well, we didn't have any timeouts left. We had 30 seconds to go, and I asked Drew what he could do, and he said, well, I'll make a little move and then go deep. So I told everybody else to block, and when I threw the ball, it was 14-10 at the time. When I threw the ball, I got knocked down, and I didn't hear any fans yell, so all of a sudden I realized we might have scored. We scored, and after the game, I basically said I closed my eyes and said a Hail Mary, and the catch was made by I think the greatest receiver that the NFL has seen as far as being a clutch receiver, Drew Pearson, and it was just it was a great day. And in fact, my wife and I, we were in Rome here recently on our 30th anniversary, and I told the Pope I threw the Hail Mary pass, and he kind of looked at me and he said, well, nice pass. I don't think he caught on to it, but it was a great play.
Did the Pope say, how about them Cowboys?
Yeah, he said go Cowboys.
I have a question for you, Roger. You see quarterbacks these days that are sliding when they're about to get hit. You were the first quarterback to do that. Why did you start doing that? What led you to ducking the hit? Because they all do it now.
Well, Mark, I didn't like to slide. Tom Landry told me to slide. When he told me to do something, I just did it. So I really kind of got away from it later on in my career, and maybe I had a few little bumps and bruises, but sliding became something for a running quarterback to not to try to take that extra hit. And Tom told me to get down, so I got down.
Good thing that over the years, that's not what Roger Staubach has been known for.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Something other than a slide. We know you've got to go catch a plane. We're going to let Roger Staubach go. Thank you very, very much for joining us. But we've got lots more to come with these other Cowboy legends here as our CBS This Morning Trek through Texas continues live from Dallas.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm Harry Smith. Police confirmed today they are investigating two star players for the Dallas Cowboys. The accusation, sexual assault of a woman at gunpoint. And this is not the first brush with the law for either player. Randall Pinkston reports the latest.
Got to play on Sunday, regardless.
Leaving practice today, Dallas Cowboys were tight-lipped about the most recent troubles to hit the team. Star receiver Michael Irvin and tackle Erik Williams are being accused of sexually assaulting a woman at gunpoint.
Monday evening, a 23-year-old woman contacted the Dallas Police Department and reported she had been sexually assaulted by the two players as well as a third unidentified man.
The incident allegedly happened at Williams' home Sunday night.
She's a known acquaintance of them. She was visiting, and apparently things got out of hand, and she was forced to have sex with these two individuals against her will.
A search this morning turned up possible evidence, including a videotape. But police say no charges will be filed pending a complete investigation. Irvin immediately denied any involvement.
I've done enough bad things to my family and my teammates. I have not done anything. I don't even know
what anybody's talking about. And, you know,
Trouble with the law is nothing new for Irvin or Williams. Last year, Williams avoided charges of assaulting a 17-year-old girl when a grand jury decided there was insufficient evidence for an indictment. Last July, Irvin pleaded no contest to cocaine possession charges. He received 4 years probation and a chilling warning from the judge about the consequences of violating that probation.
At that time, I will find you guilty of this offense, and you're looking at up to 20 years in the penitentiary. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Team coach Barry Switzer says for now, it's business as usual.
I will deal with what occurs in the future if anything does occur in the future at that time.
As they focus on Sunday's playoff game, the Cowboys and their fans are wondering whether two key players will be on the field or in a jail cell. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, New York.
Now take a look at the weather map. Over there on the left is yet another storm system dumping rain on the west coast. About the last thing anyone there needed today. Correspondent Manuel Gallegos reports on the flooding and mudding in the Seattle area.
Linwood, Washington.
17215.
In Texas, police are now backing away from a decision anytime soon on the sexual assault accusations being made against two star players for the Dallas Cowboys. But as Diana Olick reports, this follows days of fast and furious leaking of lurid accusations and flat-out denials.
I don't know whether to believe him. I don't know whether to believe her. I don't know whether to believe the police.
Dallas Cowboys fans might as well be holding season tickets to a soap opera.
I'm looking forward to helping and cooperating in any way I can. And I'm also looking forward to seeing how you guys going to rewrite, reprint, rerun all these things about what happened Sunday night.
According to a 23-year-old Dallas woman, Sunday night, Cowboys star receiver Michael Irvin held a gun to her head, while offensive lineman Erik Williams and another man allegedly raped her at Williams' home.
No comment.
As of today, neither Williams nor Irvin has been charged with a crime. And Irvin says Sunday he was at this sports bar celebrating Saturday's playoff game win.
No matter what happens here, Michael Irvin and Erik Williams are tainted.
Which is not exactly news to Dallas. Williams was accused in 1995 of sexual assault, but not charged. And Irvin is now on probation for drug possession. The alleged victim in this week's case has not spoken publicly. Her estranged husband reportedly doubts her story because he says she has falsely cried sexual assault before.
Are these guys being treated unfairly just because they're so famous?
Absolutely.
Civil rights attorney Andrew Trusavich argues the police were wrong to announce publicly they had evidence of the sex and guns on videotape when they had yet to file any charges.
I don't think we've ever seen that done besides the Richard Jewell case on a national level like this.
It's going to be days, at least, if not weeks, before any determination is made of whether or not there's a criminal case to be filed.
As the drama off the field plays out, the Cowboys with Irvin and Williams are preparing for this Sunday's playoff game. With 3 Super Bowl victories in the past 4 years, they're not settling for second best, even if their tarnished stars are busy settling personal scores. Diana Olick, CBS News, Dallas.
NATO countries. The Serbs have threatened to take UN hostages if peacekeepers arrest their leader and indicted war crime suspect Radovan Karadzic. An emotional apology from Dallas Cowboys star Michael Irvin yesterday after he was sentenced on a drug conviction. But as Diana Olick reports, Irvin's troubles are far from over, both on and off the field.
I am a proud man. I am a proud man. I'd like to apologize to my family. Sincerely apologize.
Finally breaking his silence, Michael Irvin ran the play over and over, apologizing 10 times to his family, his teammates, and his fans.
There's no getting around it. I was wrong. I was wrong.
Wrong for getting mixed up with topless dancers, cocaine,
There's
marijuana.
a report this morning that Saudi officials rebuffed U.S. requests to interrogate the men who carried out the bombing last November, which killed 5 Americans. Administration officials told the New York Times that information might have helped foil this week's attack. In any event, it's too late now. The 4 terrorists were beheaded last month. In France, President Clinton and leaders of the major industrial powers turned their attention back to economics today, the main purpose of their summit meeting in Lyon. At the opening of the summit yesterday, Mr. Clinton won a vow from the group to fight terrorism by all means. But aides say Mr. Clinton will continue to press for commitments on specific goals before the summit ends tomorrow. Police in Dallas, Texas say that Cowboys football star Michael Irvin was the target of a murder-for-hire plot, a plot hatched by a rogue cop. Diana Olick reports on the bizarre new twist to Irvin's drug possession trial.
Dallas police arrested one of their own yesterday, 5-year veteran officer Johnny Hernandez. He is charged with soliciting the murder of Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver Michael Irvin.
It was clear that he wanted Michael Irvin killed.
Police Chief Ben Click says the 28-year-old Hernandez Wednesday gave a federal agent a down payment for the hit.
It was, as I understand, substantial. The officer did give the undercover agent several $1,000s.
Hernandez's only apparent connection to Irvin is as a subpoenaed witness in his drug trial. Last March, Irvin was caught allegedly in possession of cocaine and marijuana with these two topless dancers, Angela Beck and Jasmine Nabwangu. Dallas County Judge Manny Alvarez says despite the death threat, jury selection will continue today.
We're dealing with it, and I don't anticipate that it's going to affect
the
our trial at all.
Yesterday, some of Irvin's teammates expressed shock at the news.
For a cop to go to that extent, to have that a wish set upon another, that's unbelievable.
The Dallas police chief says he cannot comment yet on any possible motive, but there is reportedly one coincidence in these two cases. Officer Johnny Hernandez and Angela Beck supposedly once shared the same home address. Diana Olick, CBS News, Dallas.
O.J. Simpson hosted a charity fundraiser at his Los Angeles estate for an anti-violence group. About 300 guests attended last night's invitation-only event where Simpson signed autographs. During the party, Simpson spoke with CBS correspondent Harold Dow, his first network interview since the trial.
Some people out there are upset that O.J. Simpson's holding this event at his house. Can you understand why they're upset? Do you understand?
No, I don't understand, and I don't really think it's about me. I think it's about them more than it is about me, because I can't imagine anybody being against what's going on here.
Outside, protesting women's groups denounced the party as a ploy for Simpson to rebuild his image. Harold Dow will join us a little later in this half hour with more on that interview. That's a look at the news this morning. Mark McEwen standing by with hot, not necessarily weather, but Demi Moore is coming up.
Demi Moore, yes.
With no hair.
Yeah, her hair is shorter than mine. Go figure. Good morning to you, Jane. Good morning, everybody. On this Friday, shall we discuss it? I think we shall.
Dallas police say they may file criminal charges against the woman who falsely accused 2 Dallas Cowboy football players of sexual assault at gunpoint. Bob McNamara reports that investigators have concluded that the former topless dancer Nina Shahravan was lying.
The Cowboys may not be going to the Super Bowl.
We are not guilty.
But they aren't going to jail either.
The allegations are not true, and the sexual assault did not take place.
Police told a room packed with cameras that the charges against 2 Cowboy players were lies.
Hey, are y'all rerunning it? Are you rewriting it and reprinting it like I
Try it.
Yeah, well, do a better job.
Michael Irvin, sporting a fractured shoulder and wounded pride, angrily challenged reporters to set the record straight.
You act like a bunch of piranhas, tearing away at Michael's very existence. And I don't know why that you did that.
For 2 weeks, Irvin has been at the center of a media storm, accused of sexually assaulting a 23-year-old woman. Also wrongly accused, teammate Erik Williams.
I'm not a bad person.
In some cities, sexual assault charges against star players would be shocking. Here, the fact that they aren't true has many people surprised. And those feelings have forever changed this team's relationship with this town.
Right or wrong, when people jump on them, I think it's based on their track record, which is pretty lengthy.
I don't like him at all.
Today, many here count themselves among the Cowboys' former fans.
It's going to be a long time before this team is America's team again.
Last night, at a cafe owned by former Cowboy players, there was celebration, but mostly relief. That the Cowboys' long and troubled season, full of touchdowns and topless dancers, high fives and handcuffs, fur coats and finger pointing, was finally over.
Don't lose the intensity.
Bob McNamara, CBS News, Dallas.
7 of them into the ocean. Rescuers reacted quickly and brought all of the people back to shore for treatment by emergency medical crews. 8 were hospitalized, but none had life-threatening injuries. The rocks are a traditional New Year's Day gathering place. In Texas, police were reportedly studying a home videotape today in their investigation of a woman's sexual assault charges against two star players for the Dallas Cowboys. Michael Irvin, he's number 88 in the blue pants, and Erik Williams in the black pants, showed up for practice today as usual. A woman says Irvin held her at gunpoint last Sunday while Williams and another man raped her. A break, but not a breakthrough, in the hostage siege in Peru. That story just ahead.
Receiver Michael Irvin and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys left today for their NFL playoff game in Charlotte tomorrow. A Dallas newspaper said Irvin does not appear on a videotape that shows teammate Erik Williams having sex with a woman. The woman has accused Williams of rape and Irvin with holding a gun to her head. Neither player has been charged.
McDermott is under fire for his handling of a possibly illegal recording of a phone conversation between Gingrich and fellow Republicans. The woman who accused Dallas Cowboys stars Michael Irvin and Erik Williams of sexual assault has been herself charged with filing a false police report. After being confronted with evidence, Nina Shahravan admitted she lied about the incident. She now faces 6 months in prison if convicted, and the players are considering filing lawsuits over the false accusations and the way the case was handled by Dallas police. Oksana Bayul
in Dallas today, a plea bargain in the drug trial of Michael Irvin, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He pleaded no contest to a charge of cocaine possession. In exchange, he will get 4 years deferred probation and a fine of $10,000. As for his playing career, the NFL says his status will be reviewed.